Okay, well, I haven't filed a bill. I penned an op-ed on raw milk. There's a lot of people are moving to that, especially since COVID. It's people need to understand what it is and how to handle it because it can be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. So raw milk has been, in my part of my life for a long time. I grew up on a farm, and if we needed a gallon of milk, we didn't go to the store. We went up to the barn and got it. Matter of fact, my older brother milked in the morning, and we had a family cow. I milked her in the afternoon. We'd milk it in a pail, sit down at the stool in a pail and hand milk her, and then we'd bring it back to the kitchen in a big crock pot or wide mouth glass jar. We'd strain it through a cup towel and get the hay and the flies out of it. So, of course, it wasn't pasteurized. It wasn't homogenized. Pasteurization is where you heat the milk up to kill all the bacteria in it. And homogenize is what you do to the milk, keep the cream from separating. So the cream always separates on raw milk, and you have to dip it off. But that's what you make butter, with and cheese and other products. So the reason you need to be careful with raw milk, all milk has bacteria in it, and it's dangerous bacteria: salmonella, E. coli, listeria, and those are killers. So the shelf life of raw milk is very, very short. You need to use it up in a day, 2 days probably. If you haven't, you need, make ice cream out of it or butter or cheese or something because it just has a very short shelf life. Now, a lot of people like raw milk. They think it's healthier for them. We had a family milk cow when my wife and I got married, and we had our first son. My first son colic on everything we tried, and finally I raised him on goat's milk. What's unusual about goat's milk is much more digestible, and it's naturally homogenized. The cream doesn't separate it. So a lot of people will use raw goat's milk to feed an infant because they do so well. Now, in Texas, we have to be very careful how we market raw milk because if people don't know what raw milk is, if they pick up a gallon jug and then go to the Little League game in July and watch their son play for 2 or 3 hours and they go home, well, that milk probably needs to be thrown out because, the bacteria has already bloomed in it so bad that it's going to cause somebody to get sick. And it's not, it's a pretty rough sickness. A food poisoning is basically what you've got. You got these dangerous bacteria growing. So you have to be careful with it. You can get raw milk. You can go straight to the dairy and pick it up right at the dairy barn from the farm. You can pick it up at the farmer's market. They don't sell it at the farmer's market, but you can pick it up there. You can actually have it delivered to your house. You can order it online. About the only place you can't get raw milk in Texas is at the grocery store in the dairy aisle. And probably that's a good idea since a lot of people don't understand it. We don't want somebody picking up raw milk and then keeping it for a week or 10 days because it's a deadly poison by then. So that's kind of where we are on raw milk. If you want to use it, it's fine. You just need to know what you're getting into and how to handle it. The proper storage, proper handling is essential to keep raw milk from becoming poisonous.
Thank you for that, Sid. Now, do you think it should be in grocery stores eventually, if it's used properly and the stores take care of it and get it out when it needs to be out?
I wouldn't approve of selling it retail, but just because of it. So there's 12 states that you can find it in the dairy aisle at the grocery store. They've had quite a number of sicknesses. We've got a new problem, and we had an input contract bird flu from milk. California is one of those states that allows sales of raw milk in dairies, and I don't know that that's where that child got sick from, or if it was just regular cow's milk, but it probably was raw milk because commercial milk is pasteurized and it kills the bird flu. We do know that. So Be careful, especially if you're in a state that does have bird right now when it comes to drinking raw milk. I would advise against.
You said you would advise against it in grocery stores.
Yeah, I don't think we need to sell it in the dairy section at the grocery stores, because too many people would buy it that don't know how to handle it. And if you live in a state where people are getting sick with bird flu, I would recommend not drinking any raw milk. It probably all needs to be pasteurized, because we know that bird flu is carried in the raw milk.
Now, do you think there is some benefits to having raw milk if it's drinking, like consumed correctly?
Well, a lot of people claims it has health benefits. That the pasteurization, heating that milk up destroys a lot of the enzymes and probiotics in it. So I think there possibly is some health benefits to drinking raw milk. And the people that like raw milk, that's why they drink. They think it's healthier for them.
Sid, is there anything else I'm leaving out that you want to add into the story?
I think I've exhausted the information I have on raw milk.
So you haven't filed this bill correctly. You haven't filed it just yet, correct?
I'm not filing a bill. I mean, I'm not a lawmaker.
Repealing.
I'm an agency head. So, but every session there's more and more bills filed on raw milk. So, 20 years ago, we didn't allow any raw milk sales. So they finally got it where you can buy it at the farm. I will say this. There's a new technology in milk that really makes it safer, especially raw milk. And it's ultra cold processed. A lot of dairies are doing this. If you're going to buy milk, try to get ultra cold processed milk. What that process is, when it leaves the cow, before it goes in the milk tank for storage, it is dropped below 40 degrees in less than a minute. Bacteria cannot live at 35, 36 degrees. It just can't. So that extends the shelf life. It even extends the shelf life of raw milk. So if you're buying raw milk, if you possibly can get ultra cold processed milk, that would be the safest kind.